where you start on time and all of a sudden everybody will show up from then on.
Yeah. You know, it reminds me, way back, I worked in New York City for Con Edison. And the department head was a Navy guy, a kind of rough and tough individual. And he said, when I have a meeting, I want all of you to come to the meeting. And one time we had a meeting and one of the people who was supposed to be there came in like 3 minutes late. And in front of us, he said, I'm sorry, you're late. You're not welcome here.
Right, Alex?
Yes, that's what he said.
Alex, whenever you want to start, let me know. I want to welcome everyone today. Alex Freund is here, the landing expert. He's also a mentor of mine, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. He taught me everything I know, and then some. So I'm very honored to have him here doing his branding for landing presentation. Now, I'm going to be monitoring the chat. I don't know, Alex, if you want to take questions along the way or toward the end. I'll leave that up to you, and you can mention that at the start. So take it away. I'll just be letting people in.
Okay, very well. Marty, I mean, no, sorry, I meant to say Ken. I look at you, Ken, and I say Marty. Ken, I want people to, if they have a question, first of all, I have 2 stops where I'm going to say, do you have any questions? This is not a long presentation. I want people to stop me even if the middle of the sentence and say something if they have a question. My objective here is to help. If you are thinking about something, don't wait and forget what you wanted to ask. Stop me. You have to have skin in the game. You have to be a part of the presentation to really learn. And my objective is that people walk away learning something. And Ken, you're going to monitor the chat because of course I'm not.
Definitely.
Anytime, stop me. This should be a dialogue and not a monologue. Absolutely. Or I don't know if there is such a thing as I don't know. Not dialogue is 2. Multi-log, I don't know. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally. Are we ready to start?
Absolutely. You know.
Okay. Again, so this is a short presentation. This presentation is what branding for landing. Branding is very, very important, and you'll see in a minute why. And about 1.5 years ago, I remember being somewhere in Pennsylvania, making a presentation in one of the conference rooms. And I always say to people, look, when you give your elevator pitch, try to be something different. Because if you are in a large meeting and people go one by one saying the elevator pitch, frankly, after a while, you just don't hear it anymore. You tune out because everybody sounds the same. So I said, you really need to be different. You want to be remembered. So several people started giving the elevator pitch, and then all of a sudden, this young lady jumped on the side table. I said, what is going on here? She jumped on this side table and she gave her elevator pitch. I asked her permission to take a picture, and I said that I'm going to use it. She said it's okay, but she certainly is memorable. I'm not suggesting when you give your elevator pitch to jump up on a side table, but she certainly is different. Okay, so there are 2 steps to landing a job. That's very, very simplistically put. 1, you need to be selected for an interview for among many other qualified applicants. Large companies, based on my reading, are getting every single day 250,000 applicants. So they have lots and lots and lots of applicants for one position. The question is, what do you need to do in order to be picked out from many so you are called in to the second step, which is called an interview. And at that point, your job is you need to beat your interview competitors. It is great that you are asked to come for an interview, but there is a bad side to it. Besides you, they invited another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. And as you well know, In this business, number 2 or 7 doesn't count. Only number 1 counts. So these are the 2 steps to getting. So let's ask ourselves, why is personal branding important? Well, in the past, after losing their job, people would distribute their updated resume, but with very little success. I did that. I wonder if you did the same thing. And if you did, please raise your hand so I see that we're on the same page. Yeah, I think that most people did that. You know, in the past, that's what we did. We were terminated on a Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we worked on the resume. Monday morning, we are ready to send our resumes to the people that in the past were friendly to us, and they are movers and shakers, and they are people that possibly may be of help to us. So people connected with past co-workers and other networkers, but that too was ineffectual, and that's a fact. Yeah. That's not the right way to do it. These were emotional reactions to the new reality of not having a job. Our emotions said, we need to do something now, right now, because we need a job. It didn't bring too much good to us. So what I'm saying is the right way to start a job search is similar to a project manager. Upfront planning and then execution. So the key word here, you need to do some planning. Don't just knee-jerk reaction, jump into it and start sending out your resume. So how to start a job search properly? Step number 1, gather self-awareness inputs for your value proposition. Essentially what I'm saying, take those self-assessment. There are many out there. MBTI, you know, Myers-Briggs, temperament indicator, I think that's the word. There is one called Keirsey, there is StrengthsFinder. And I found here at home, if you decide, for example, to take the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs, there is a book, I'll show it to you. It says, do what you are. Discover your perfect career for you through the secret of personality type. That's an old book by Paul Tiger and Barbara Tiger, whatever. The value of this book is once you finished your MBTI, your Myers-Briggs test, you will end up with 4 letters. So what you need to open up here, and you open the book. Just 1 second, I'll show you. You open the book only at the letters that say these are your 4 letters. You don't need to read the whole book. You just need to read, I don't know, 4 pages. Why is this important? Not because you will learn a lot about yourself, but because this is full of keywords. These are the keywords that you want to use in your resume and in your LinkedIn profile. That's the reason I suggest for you to do that. Typically, these tests are very, very inexpensive. Many of them are free.
Alex, can you put that information in the chat when you have a chance, is what the name of the book is?
Yes, I will. I will keep it out here.
At the end,
yeah,
thanks.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'm absolutely happy to do that. It's called Do What You Are. If somebody in the meantime wants to go on Amazon or whatever, do what you are, anyhow. So let's continue. So again, my point number 1 is gather self-awareness, do this test. Step number 2, identify the sequential steps that make up your value proposition. So the next step is answer to the value proposition questions. There are 4 questions. I'll go through it very slowly so you can write it down because I think it's essential. Step number 1, what is that you do? you need to be able to answer to this question very eloquently, very succinctly. If somebody's asking you, what is what you do? You need to be able to answer to this simple question. The question is simple, the answer sometimes is not so simple. The second question is this: who are the customers that you serve? In some instances, it's very easy to answer who your customers are. You also can answer who is not a customer. But then the problem starts that you have what I call a no man's land. It's, well, a little bit a customer, but actually they're not a customer. So you'll start debating in your own mind. What you really need to do, you really need to make sure that you know clearly who are your customers. Because once you identify who your customers are, now you can beam toward them. You can communicate with those. There's no point to communicate with people that are not your customers. I want to apologize to you guys right now. I know it's 1 o'clock, perhaps some of you did not have lunch yet, and I am being very inconsiderate and showing you here some nice baked goods. So please forgive me for that. Okay, the next question is this: what value do those customers get from you? I want to tell you, this is not easy. Remember what I said. What value those customers get from you? It's not what you think the customers think they get from you. It's what they tell you. So this is going to be rather difficult to refine and define those and so forth. I'm telling you, this is not so easy to answer. And the last question is this: what do your customer perceive as unique and advantageous about you? That is the #1 question that the hiring manager is asking. Why should I hire Ken and not Genevieve and not Sheila and not Marty? That's the #1 question that the hiring manager is asking. So you need to become, in the eyes of your customers, the person they want to do business with you. Okay. The next step is you need to identify your strongest personal brand attributes. There are 5 brand attributes that you need to define. The first one is prominence. Basically, prominence talks about your network knows you are out there. In other words, if they need you, they know where to find you. The next one is exclusivity, which means people come to you for advice and not to somebody else. You have the answers for them. The next one is credibility, which means you're credible. They believe what you say. You're not phony, you're real, you're genuine. The fourth one is relevancy. Relevancy means that right now you are relevant to them. A career coach is relevant to a job seeker. If you happen to be in the manufacturing of chocolate bars, I have to take it back. I wanted to say you're not relevant to job seekers. Sometimes you are, I know. And the last one is emotional connection. And that means that you are able to win people over easily. So again, there are 5 attributes that you need to be very clear on: prominence, exclusivity, credibility, relevance, and emotional connection. I suggest you define those and then prioritize those. And the first 2 or 3, these are the ones that you want to use again and again. Next step is develop your marketing strategy. Now, I don't like the word marketing because I think marketing in the United States is not well understood. When you go on the street and you say, I need to go and market that used car, basically what you're saying, I need to sell that used car. Marketing is not selling. Yes, a part of the marketing is selling, only one a very small slice of the entire pie. If you want to understand the word marketing, replace it with the word educating. Marketing is educating your customers, educate your future employer. That's what means marketing. And the next step is advertising. Now, I am very embarrassed to tell you, during the Super Bowl, I did not even bother opening my TV. I know I'm in minority. I know I'm embarrassed. I know this is not American, but I'm at least truthful to you. But I know there were some ads there, and I know companies paid a lot of money for a 30-second or 1-minute ad during the Super Bowl. Now, when I say advertising, this is something you need to do. Don't sit at home and think that people know what you do. Don't. You have to tell them, you have to advertise. So once you finish this, then here is a sequential step. Step number 1, do this self-assessment, then value proposition, then branding, then marketing, then advertising. That will lead you to an interview. And I say here, most people fail because they start with step number 5, the advertising. Monday morning, they peddle their resume to other people. So I say here, if the steps are done correctly, you will have a leg up on the others who jumped into the job search haphazardly. Now, I am seeing several of you on my screen, but you know what? I don't see any of you smiling. You don't get what do you see that I put there a horse with a leg up? Okay. Oh, I see a few people start smiling, but I had to give you a hint. Okay, good. Okay, so any questions at this point? I gave you a lot of information, so please.
I'll raise a question, Alex. Thank you so much. My name is Valerie. I'm in Northern New Jersey, in Irvington, New Jersey, actually. When it comes to the advertising piece of it, I try to be very purposeful and strategic how I position myself on my social media platforms. You know, of course, Facebook sometimes is for personal stuff, and I use LinkedIn more for my professional, and IG just to post pictures. But I know that companies Google your name, they're gonna try to look at your social media platform, so on and so forth. My IG is private, and you know I don't have anything to hide, so you know I put what I put out there. What is your best recommendation with regards to cleaning up or strategically placing certain things on social media, or do you have any insight to that at all?
Well, I think you nested several questions in another question. The question, did you ask about what is the best way to advertise about yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
And use social media.
Well, here is my opinion. Don't advertise only in one area, only on LinkedIn. You need to advertise in multiple. You have to join groups like this. You have to send notes to people. Okay, I'm sure you have friends. I'm sure you have family. Pick up the phone, Valerie, and tell them, by the way, I'm looking for a job. And, you know, the likelihood is that your closest family members, they really don't know in detail what you do. They know that you're in finance. They know that you are in merchandising. They know. And they know that you used to go to work every day, but they really don't know what your strengths are. You see, family members are very much willing to help you, but you need to work with them very closely, helping them, showing them what you do so they can carry the word to the next level to people that they know. That is also a part of the advertising. Advertising is... I'm smiling because I'm thinking about the bullhorn. You have a bullhorn and you just have to tell the world, look, I'm here and I'm looking for a job or whatever you need to say. Advertising is promoting, telling people about who you are and what you're looking for.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Joe. Joe.
Oh, yeah. So, thank you very much for organizing this. And thank you very much for putting all those slides. They were very good. And so a little bit about your thing. So I have my own company, which is called Summity Incorporated. And what I do here is all the people who are a little bit off track, who are not able to find a job, I get them a little bit ahead of the feeding frenzy, which means we train them in skills, and we use social ERPs and stuff like that, which is freeware. So I'm not necessarily I gain out of everything, but I'm just saying that I can help you. Every slide on this thing is, do not follow any boilerplate. Do not make yourself cut above the ordinary. And I think I can help you out with these guys, or I can get helped on these guys. But I have a social media platform, and I can help you on that. That's
okay.
About it.
And now I think you can use a chat to put your contact information so people can get connected with you.
Okay, thank you very much.
So is advertising a form of sales as opposed to marketing? Someone had a question about that.
Well, advertising is a part of marketing. Sales is a part of marketing. Defining your price point is a part of marketing. Defining the location where you are doing business, that's a part of marketing. Marketing is an umbrella word that under it has lots and lots and lots of details.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Genevieve asked a question, how can you be unique without jumping on a table? Genevieve, if you want to unmute yourself and maybe explain a little more.
Sure. I mean, you know, I'm a consumer market insights professional, and I'm trying to figure out, how do I stand out when I'm talking to my next future employer?
Well, my easy answer is, first of all, don't jump on the table like the other lady. That's the easy way. But look, you need to do a lot of research. And you see, as one of my slides indicated, planning is 50% of success. I work with my clients every day, and what I see universally is this. They consider the interview to be 80% and the preparation for that 20%. And I'm telling them this is wrong. Actually, it's supposed to be the opposite. 80% of that is planning. If you did good planning, then you go for an interview and the chances are you'll be successful. So again, you ask, what is what you need to do? You need to do a variety of things. I cannot single out now one that is most prominent, but of course, talking to people, being on LinkedIn, having a resume that has the right keywords, talking to recruiters, talking to friends, talking to family. I mean, that's basically the general thing. But here's what I always suggest to people. Today, there is so much information out there. You can get information free by reading what other smart people in this business are saying and writing. You can learn so much. There is one source of information I personally like very much. Her name is Hannah Morgan. And Kenneth, you know Hannah?
Yeah, she actually spoke to our group.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't on when anyhow, Hannah Morgan, she's wonderful. She is writing once a week. I'm subscribed to her once a week summary. Once a week, I get an email from her. And in that email, she highlights like 2 or 3 or 4 subjects, and she associates with that some articles that just appear. So basically, she's doing the heavy lifting, and she's giving it to you free, by the way, free, to read only the best article that appeared, in the last week or so. Her name is Hannah Morgan, and her company is Career Sherpa.
I mean, I would also say, Genevieve, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to connect with people. And it's not just the connecting with, you and me or Alex and me. It's who we know within our networks. It's those warm connections, those connections that you may not know directly. And so it's about building relationships as much as anything else.
Yeah, people are, you know, just one second, career coaches, you know, of course, that's a business, no question about it. But you know what? All these people have a heart. All these people went through what you are going through right now. All these people are definitely willing to help you, but they will not help you unless you reach out. Don't be afraid. I can almost guarantee you, nobody will hang up the phone and say, don't bother me, I'm busy. These people will help you, but it really takes you to go out, make your case, and I'm absolutely certain all these people, I saw Linda Trignano on, she's also a career coach, Marty, Ken, you know, there's several people that they are here, they will help you.
The most important thing is tell us what you need help with.
Right.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. And
you
Alex,
know, do you want to continue now, Alex? Or?
Yeah. One more thing I want to say.
Sure.
If these people don't have the answer, they at least know some other people that can give you a hand. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so what is your challenge? All qualified applicants look very similar to one another. So how do hiring managers decide? The differentiator is your brand. Your brand is the impression you make, what you are known for, and what people say about you. That's a mouthful, but that kind of encompasses it all. Your brand is the impression you make, what you're known for, and what people say about you. For example, a brand is not a logo, a tagline, or a product, but a relationship. When you look at these logos, Apple, Google, Mercedes-Benz, when you see these logos, you have a feeling, you have a relationship with them. Perhaps you use them, perhaps you haven't. People tend to relate to others they know, like, and trust. Mm-hmm. I see this all over. First of all, you need to know the other party. You can do that via LinkedIn or whatever, connect. Do whatever it takes so you establish good chemistry. That there is one party likes the other. And make sure that they trust you. Don't be phony, be genuine, be real, and then you have a good thing going for you. So here is how you develop your brand. Remember, the value proposition has 4 questions. The brand has 3 questions. First question, who are you? Second question, what do you do? You remember, what do you do was the question also in the value proposition. And then why does it matter? And here I'm testing my brand just to show you as an example. Who are you? I'm a career coach specializing in interview preparation. I'm known as a landing expert. Do you know who I am? Raise your hand so I know. I see lots of, okay, yeah. So, no, good. What do you do? I help people in transition and those contemplating a career change prepare for job interviews. I think it's succinct, it's eloquent, it's to the point, it's not too verbose. Basically, in a sentence and a half or 1 sentence, I tell you a kind of what you need to know. Question number 3, why does it matter? While interviewing, my clients feel prepared, confident, and relaxed. So I was able to answer to the 3 questions that you are being asked when you create your brand. Any questions about branding at this point? And then we'll move on. Okay. Shall I move on? Ken, you're on mute.
Yeah, I had to unmute myself. Technical stuff. Someone wanted to know about getting a copy of the presentation. So let me just see.
No,
I know at times you don't want to and all that, so I just wanted to ask.
Unfortunately, I cannot give it to you because many pictures. See, most of the picture I did not ask for written presentation.
No, I just wanted to. I kind of knew the answer, but I figured I'd ask just to make sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. I should have said at the beginning.
That's okay. We're all this, you know, I'm looking
Okay,
here
so,
at other questions. I don't see any other questions, no.
okay, good. Build and monitor your online presence. How often do you go on Google to Google yourself? Interesting enough, I think my daughter brought it to my attention. There is something on Google called Google My Business. And about 2 weeks ago, I created a profile for myself. Half an hour ago, when I had lunch, I got a message saying that last week 150 people looked at my Google profile. Okay, why am I doing this? I want to, you know, Google is run by an algorithm, and I know that algorithm is influencing LinkedIn and everything else. Google is dominating our lives, whether we admit it or not. I want to be very prominent on Google. That's the reason I did that. So my strong suggestion to you is please Google yourself. See what's on Google on your name. Create Google alerts. For example, I have on the, by the way, this is free. On the Google alerts, I put in Alex Freund in quotations because I don't want Alex Freund, I want it together. So whenever Alex Freund comes up there, I get some notification. Landingexpert.com, landing expert. Periodically throughout the day, I get a message from Google that my name appeared somewhere. Use branded email signature with hyperlinks. The one on top is mine. If I send you an email, this is a part of that. You have my name, you have my phone number, you have my website. You can click on that purple LinkedIn and it will take you to my LinkedIn. I have a YouTube channel. I have something called upcoming events. It's a list of events that I publish, and also networking groups, etc. Okay, so under me did Diane Hazley. Again, beautiful picture. I mean, this is done right. There is no reason for you not to have your phone number, your email. Make it easy for people to find you. Right. Use Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn often. As much time as you have. I am on LinkedIn 20 times a day, perhaps 10 seconds at a time, perhaps 3 minutes at a time. But it's very important because the shelf life of LinkedIn is very, very short. If you publish something on LinkedIn, and I think 20 minutes is very popular, and after 20 minutes, it disappears. So you have to send out the message at the right time that somebody is there to open it. Facebook too, Twitter. Again, very often, frequency is very important. Publish articles on LinkedIn. Very easy to do. Remember, LinkedIn is your personal website. It provides a URL. If you have an article that you want to promulgate, you want to push it out, this is how you do it. It's so easy. It is so easy. People don't do it. If you want to gain prominence, this is how you gain prominence. The differentiator is your brand. You must be viewed as different and unique in a positive way. Every so often, I give this example. I wanted to say, why ladies, also men, by the way, why ladies spend an inordinate amount of money on a dress that they will wear only once in a lifetime. Not because they're cold, by the way. If they're cold, they go to Walmart and they buy something warm, right? Not only men, women, not only women, men buy too also some, specialty clothing or whatever. Why do they do that? Because they want to be different. Mm-hmm. Personal branding consists of image, influence, perception, and reputation. I'm not going to say, I don't want to get in trouble here. I'm not going to say anything about these four I wanted to say gentlemen. I'm not going to use that word. Okay. These pictures talk to you. You can talk about them a lot. I know that. Branding is a mental picture to create, you create in others' mind. As I said earlier, branding is not a logo. Branding is an image, is a picture in the mind of other people that know you. Google evaluates your brand for relevance and context. Google is smart enough to see what you say, and it puts it in the right relevance, in the right context, and then you're fine. If you just throw the same words again and again and again, or something that's not relevant. Let's say you're looking for a job, but you're talking about how to sell shoes in the shoe store. Unless you are in the shoe business, it's irrelevant. So be relevant and talk about something that's in context with you. And I don't know, I think this is my last, no. LinkedIn is like Google, but limited to your connections. A lot of things in LinkedIn, the algorithm is very much similar to the Google algorithm. A positive online brand promotes your chances of getting hired. Again, if you do a good job, it promotes you, it brings you closer to the point that you'll be hired. Negative branding results can sink you. And you may be building your brand for a long, long time, and you're doing a great job. And then one thing you screw up, everything goes down the drain. Okay, here is an embarrassing photo. Okay, so the reputation is just going down the drain. A negative public record or reference, such as a felony. God forbid, there is a felony in your background, and you know today you cannot hide. Everything is on Google. Everything can be searched. That's bad. So be careful about it. I think this is my last chance. Yeah. Okay. Good.
There was a question that came up. What sort of metrics or measures could be they use to see how effectively your branding is on message?
Well, thank you for asking this question. Actually, I had it a part of this presentation, but I took it out because I didn't want it. I wanted to leave as much time for question and answer and not just throwing at you lots and lots of slides.
Absolutely.
But here is what I did several years ago when I started conceptualizing and understanding my brand. I said, okay, now I think I have a brand, but as I said earlier, what I think about my brand is totally irrelevant. What other people think about my brand, this is what counts. So here's what I did. I did something very, very basic. I came up with a list of perhaps 24 friends of mine, or people that I know, and I have their email address. So I sent them an email and said, do me a favor, please reply to my email. All I'm asking you to do this, reply only 3 words. Don't send me sentences. Please, this time, all I'm asking from you, send me 3 words that come to your mind when you see my name in print, and put them one under the other. And people complied. And then I had a long list of all these people times 3 words. And I put it in an Excel sheet. I sorted it, I alphabetized it, and then next to each, for example, one word came out 8 times, another word came out 4 times, then another word 12 times or whatever. So now I sorted it by how frequently a certain word came up. And this was my brand. These are the words that now I can use on my LinkedIn profile or resume, or even when I talk to people. Jokingly, now that I'm talking about the joke, I don't know if I should say this. Sometimes I'm saying things and then I regret. One of the things that came up there, and Marty, I think you know what I'm going to say because you've seen this. Some people said that I'm smart, and I kind of questioned that. But otherwise, they said some nice things about me.
So I didn't mean to cut you off, Alex, but you might want to mention that last slide, the contact information for people who want to reach out to you.
Shall I take it off or shall I leave it?
No, you can leave it on. I mean, I really appreciate you presenting today. And I want to open this up to questions because I think there's no such thing as a stupid question. I mean, this is what it's all about. And a lot of times if you have questions after, definitely reach out to us too. So fire away, everyone.
This is Deb McConnell. You had indicated, Alex, that Hannah Morgan was a favorite editor of yours. And you said that I didn't quite capture what you said as far as her company was concerned.
I actually put that in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
And Ken, I wanted to jump in real quick. This is Valerie again. I know Alex was talking about, you know, what folks say about you. One thing that I found that worked for me, and this is just a recommendation, it's always good to get things in writing. So what I did, I reached out to a number of my colleagues who put a recommendation for me on my LinkedIn profile. I had even said, look, I'll type it for you, send it to you. You can tweak it however you want to tweak it. Yep. Just be able to upload it to my LinkedIn. So a colleague of mine actually just did that this morning because it's almost like a testimonial. When we use when we use a good company that we like, we're going to tell our friends about it and we're going to go on Yelp and give it a good review. Same thing about your own personal brand. If you're doing good work for a company or for consultant or a client or what have you, if they like your work and you're doing a good job, why not? And if they say they did, why not have them put it in writing and put it on your LinkedIn?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, if you say, I'm Valerie and, you know, I'm wonderful, people don't believe you. But if you have 16 testimonials that everybody says, Valerie is wonderful, now people start believing you.
Absolutely. I also think it's important, think about it from the perspective that when you do an about section or something else, you're doing it for the people that want to hire you. Don't do it for yourself. It's like, how do you want to be shown? You know, what is it about my skills that I can help you with?
Yep.
And I actually wanted to say one other thing about, I know we talked about social media earlier, and, you know, depending on your age, sometimes social media can make you or break you. We need to be very careful. And I'm saying this because I work in PR and communications. We need to be very careful the things we say on social media, the things we post on social media, and the pictures. We may not think it matters. We may say, oh, that's my private Facebook page. I should be able to do what I want, blah, 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 blah. No one should police me. And that may be true to a certain point. However, when you're looking for a job, we got to be more mindful because right now, like Alex said, people Google you and can find out all kinds of crap about you. And we have seen, for example, the CEO of Wells Fargo, some things that he said about African Americans and how he can't find Black people to hire and so on and so forth. It was horrible. So those little things and nuances we have to really, really keep in mind.
And this is what you'll remember.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hi, Alex. Nice to see you again.
Hi, good to see you.
I had a question too. I mean, I just recently got started on LinkedIn, maybe about 4 months ago, but I don't have a presence on Facebook or Twitter. Do you feel like that's important to start that, or just if I don't have, I'm not even on Facebook. So is that something?
Okay. You know what? Let me tell you my personal opinion. I am on Facebook. I've been on Facebook. I'm very, very little active, very little, but I read what other people say. I am not a person that I will put, you know, pictures of pie that I ate and my cats and my dogs. And, you know, I kind of don't enjoy doing that. Other people do. I believe in business and LinkedIn is business, and that's where I spend most of my time. I'm also on Twitter. You know why? Twitter is easy, quick, and it's big, very big. So I am using Twitter as well. Now, let me reveal a secret that many people don't know. There are various services, by the way, free, that you can use to be more prominent on social media. One of them that I'm using, it's called Deliver It. Let me spell it for you. DLVR.it. Deliver It. DLVR.it. Let me tell you what it is. It allows you to take some sources of information, and they will send it out to wherever you want it to go. You can go to LinkedIn, you can go to Facebook, you can go to Twitter. And you can instruct how often you want it done, and they will do it. Actually, today, I told you that I am on Google Alerts. I received a Google alert today that my name appeared in print. Why? Because this service that I'm using, and by the way, it's free, took something from a source that there are some sources that I use, and they sent it out on Twitter. So I got notification because my name was in print. I did not know about it, but it's safe. So it increases my popularity, my prominence, my visibility. I use Deliver It, but there is another one. Perhaps somebody else can help me. There is another one. I used to use it. I don't remember what it is.
I can just help you in one sentence. So usually Twitter gives you an API call. You can just call that URL. It'll hit it on your database. It'll hit it on your notepad, and then you don't have to worry about it. I have the APIs. If you want, you can contact me. You can just hit it. You don't have to go through any third-party aggregator.
Thank you.
If no one has a question, I'm going to ask you a question, Alex, because I'm actually working with someone now who's looking for a job, and in their history, they have a lot of short jobs, and no one job to say that they've been at for a while. So they're wondering how they could position themselves, and they could come across like it wasn't like they were fired from every job. They had gaps and things. I know this is probably something a lot of us or people have, like these, how do we explain a gap when you're going through the process?
Well, first of all, the fact that today have multiple jobs, frequent changes, is not the unusual. I would say it's rather the norm. And again, that's very different. I remember many years ago when I came to the United States, I had a job and I resigned, and I told my mother that I left my job, and my mother's reaction was, well, your dad worked 17 years in one place. What's wrong? Why did you have to change job? Because in the past, people had jobs for a very, very long time. Today in America, I read somewhere the average tenure of a person is 2.4 years. That's what I read. So the fact that people change jobs very frequently, unfortunately, this is reality. Now, this is a mathematical summary. That means that some people are 3 months on the job and other people are 8 years. But the mathematical average is 2.4 years. So people should not be ashamed that they change jobs. It's very likely the interviewer probably has a very similar background. This is very, very common. This is very common. I can actually give you the other side of the argument. I remember working with an individual that was an executive for AT&T for 31 years. So he told me that he went for an interview, and the interviewer is saying, so what else do you know besides AT&T? So it was held against him. Now, let's talk about the gaps. Unfortunate reality, you don't finish on a Friday and Monday you get a job. This is reality. Sometimes it takes weeks, if not months, and longer. As long as you explain that while I was in transition, I took a course, I read a book, I helped others, I volunteered. As long as you show the other person that, look, I didn't sit at home and just smoke cigars. I was active and I'm looking and I'm staying in the industry. That's a good thing. That's the best you can do.
No, I agree. I just think I wanted other people to hear that here too, because I think it's important for everyone to know that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ken, can I add something to that?
Absolutely, Chris.
So I worked with a number of HR people in the past, and they told me that a person should start to look for a job after 2 years. And the reason was quite simple. For the first 6 months, someone at a job is learning the job and they're probably overpaid. The next year, they're probably appropriately paid for the amount of effort that they're putting out and the amount of benefit the company's getting. But after a year and a half, you should be so proficient at your job that you're now being underpaid for the work that you do. So I was told by someone from an HR perspective that after 2 years, you should start to look for a new job because you will always be underpaid if you stay at that company. The only way that you can be appropriately paid is if you find a job with a new company or get hired to a new role in that company. But if you stay at the same job, you will continue to be underpaid for the rest of your life.
Okay. I want to offer you a different version. Don't look for a job, keep an eye open. Because you may love your job. Let me tell you this, I worked for 15 years in Morristown, New Jersey for a company called Honeywell.
Excuse me, Alex, can you stop sharing your screen now? I think people just want to.
Absolutely, thanks. Okay. Yeah, just 1 second, I need to push a button here.
Cool.
Is it okay?
Yeah, that's fine, thank you very much.
No, I forgot about it. Okay, good. Okay. So I said I was 15 years in Morristown, New Jersey with a company called Honeywell. I absolutely loved every day. I got so much pleasure. Why would I look for another job when every day was a pleasure for me? Okay, so keep an eye open. Changes are a part of our life nowadays. That's reality. Keep an eye open, stay connected, mainly network with people, develop your relationship, because you may not need it now, but perhaps in the future you will.
And I just want to add something to that, Alex. In today's environment, switching jobs, especially the last year, can be pretty risky. So if you're happy, like you're saying, maybe you're not getting the top dollar that you think you should, but this might not be the climate to simply move because you think you should earn more money. Negotiating a better salary might help, but I would just put a little sprinkle of caution on your message.
So smart, Linda, so smart. Every change has a risk factor. I always tell this to people because people say, I want to make a change. I said, fine. Don't think the grass is greener the other side of the fence. You may not like your boss. You may not like your people. You may not like the job, but don't think that utopia is at the other end of the fence, the other side of the fence. It's not. Very smart.
All right, I'm saving the chat first of all, so no worries about that. The chat will automatically be saved.
I was saving the chat too, in case you wanted it. I was saving the chat too.
Okay, great.
Questions. You have another 6 minutes.
So I have another question for you, Alex. I've been told that it's really good, and you even mentioned it, about posting on LinkedIn, posting articles. Not just sharing the article, but actually bringing it down, synthesizing it, putting my spin on it, and reposting it. Is it a post or is it a publish? Is there a difference, and does it matter?
Well, okay, you can do two things. You can post your status, which means you say something like, I post, for example, this morning I advertised this function today. But also I have probably between 60 to 80 articles that I posted on my LinkedIn profile. Okay, that stays there. That stays there forever. The fact that I posted that today I'm doing this presentation, that will be gone soon. You understand what I'm saying, right?
I think the other thing to consider now is with LinkedIn posting, when you post something, it's not just the first hour that you get all the exposure. Things last a lot longer. So you want to think about something that'll be timely. I mean, I posted something this past weekend. I grew up in Fairlawn, and the Nabisco factory is shutting down. And it's, you know, it brought back memories to me. The next thing you know, I'm getting all these comments about something that has absolutely nothing to do about job search, but it's something that's in my background. So you don't have to think about it. Just think about something that makes yourself more genuine too.
I want to share with you guys something that somehow relates to branding, because I think what I'm going to share now, it kind of matters to you. I recall that several years ago, not during COVID, before COVID, you remember there was a time before COVID, yeah? Before COVID, I used to have people come to my office. And typically when I start with a new client, my first question typically is there anything you think I need